It was a rainy night in late October, and the streets were slick with the relentless downpour. The air was thick with the scent of wet pavement, and the distant sound of thunder rumbled ominously. Ethan, a 20-year-old college student, stood under a dimly lit street lamp, shivering as he waited for his Uber. He had stayed late at the library, trying to finish an assignment, and now all he wanted was to get home, wrap himself in a blanket, and forget about the world outside. His phone buzzed in his pocket, signaling that the Uber had arrived. He glanced at the screen, a black sedan, license plate 4D7K2N. The car pulled up slowly, its headlights cutting through the sheets of rain. The driver's profile picture on the app showed a middle-aged man with a stern face. Tom, the name read. Ethan hesitated for a moment, an inexplicable sense of unease settling in his stomach, but he quickly dismissed it. It was late, and the rain was only getting worse. He opened the car door and slid into the back seat. "Ethan?" the driver asked, his voice gravelly. "Yeah, that's me," Ethan replied, buckling his seatbelt. The driver nodded, and the car started moving. The silence inside the car was thick, broken only by the soft swish of the windshield wipers and the occasional sound of water splashing up from the tires. Ethan stared out the window, watching the raindrops race each other down the glass, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Tom drove with a sort of mechanical precision, his eyes never leaving the road. There were no personal items in the car, no small talk, just the rhythmic hum of the engine and the rain pounding against the roof. Ethan tried to distract himself by scrolling through his phone, but the feeling of unease grew stronger with each passing minute. Suddenly, the car took a sharp turn, jolting Ethan from his thoughts. He glanced at the map on his phone. The route had changed. They were no longer heading towards his apartment. Instead, they were driving down a narrow, deserted road that Ethan had never seen before. Excuse me," Ethan said, leaning forward slightly. "I think you took a wrong turn. My place is the other way." Tom didn't respond. His hands gripped the steering wheel tighter, knuckles white, eyes still fixed on the road ahead. "Hey, did you hear me?" Ethan's voice was edged with panic now. "This isn't the right way." Tom finally spoke, his voice calm but unnervingly detached. "I know." Ethan's heart raced. "What do you mean, you know? Where are you taking me?" The driver remained silent, his expression unreadable in the rearview mirror. Panic clawed at Ethan's chest as he realized he was completely at the mercy of this stranger. He quickly checked his phone again, hoping to call someone, anyone, but the screen displayed no service. They were in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by dense trees on either side of the road. The car slowed down, coming to a stop in front of an old, abandoned gas station. The neon sign flickered weakly, casting an eerie glow over the cracked pavement. Tom turned off the engine and sat in silence for a moment before turning around to face Ethan. "You need to get out," he said flatly. "What? No way." Ethan shot back, his voice trembling. "I'm not getting out here." But Tom's expression didn't change. "It's not safe for you in this car. Get out." The way he said it, with such cold finality, sent a shiver down Ethan's spine. His instincts screamed at him to stay in the car, to lock the doors and refuse, but something about Tom's demeanor was terrifyingly convincing. Without fully understanding why, Ethan unbuckled his seatbelt and opened the door, stepping out into the rain. As soon as he was out of the car, Tom hit the gas, the tires screeching as he sped off into the night. Ethan stood there, drenched and bewildered, watching the taillights disappear down the road. A sense of dread settled over him as he turned to look at the gas station. It was more dilapidated up close. The windows were boarded up, and the door hung loosely on its hinges. Ethan's heart pounded in his chest as he realized how utterly alone he was. The rain was relentless, soaking through his clothes, and there was no sign of life anywhere. Ethan took a deep breath, trying to calm his nerves. He needed to find shelter, a phone, something. As he walked towards the gas station, he noticed a faint light coming from inside. It flickered like a candle, barely visible through the cracks in the boarded-up windows. Desperate, he approached the door and pushed it open. The inside was dark and musty, the air thick with the smell of damp wood and decay. The flickering light came from a single, old-fashioned lantern sitting on the counter, and next to it was a note, hastily scrawled in what looked like dried mud. "Trust no one. Keep moving." Ethan's blood ran cold as he read the words. Before he could process what it meant, he heard the unmistakable sound of a car engine approaching. His heart skipped a beat. He rushed to the window and peeked outside. The black sedan was back, idling quietly in the rain, its headlights off. Ethan's mind raced. Had Tom returned? Or was it someone else? And what did the note mean? As he turned to leave the gas station, his foot hit something hard. He looked down and saw a small, muddy object half buried in the dirt. Bending down, he picked it up and felt his stomach drop. It was a phone. His phone. The one he had been holding in the car, now covered in mud as if it had been here for days, not minutes. Ethan's breath came in short, panicked gasps as he realized the terrifying truth. He had been here before. Not just tonight, but many times before. Each time, ending in the same way, with him trapped, confused, and ultimately disappearing. The car's engine revved, and the door creaked open. A shadowy figure stepped out, but Ethan didn't wait to see who it was. He bolted out of the gas station, sprinting into the dark forest beyond, the rain blinding him as he ran. The last thing he heard before the night swallowed him was the voice, cold and detached, echoing through the trees. "It's time to start over, Ethan." But this time, Ethan knew the truth. There would be no escape.